No, never give up, never surrender.
We're exporting a whole lot of really bad and dangerous rhetoric, bad research, and unfortunately it's being picked up and amplified in other countries.
Never forget the elephant in the room. It's actually such a big elephant that I don't think people can even breathe in that room. There's such a huge elephant. It's the number one preventable cause of death in Australia. So when you are taking a precautionary approach, when you're like, no, we just don't know enough, I just tell them, shut up, because that just, I don't know, is killing people right now.
We're worried that, in fact, a lot of members of the public still think that using an e-cigarette is as harmful as smoking a cigarette. I mean, I have said that it would be tragic if smokers didn't quit and carried on smoking because they hadn't tried an e-cigarette, because they were worried about the safety of an e-cigarette.
It's not about really quitting smoking. Their ideological viewpoint against vaping is so strong and so weird. Like, honestly, it's just weird. I don't know why it invokes this incredible sort of anger from these people. I mean, this colleague of mine said to me when I first moved to get the inquiry up, her comment to me was, why don't they just use a patch? And I said to her, do you smoke? And she's like, no. I said, have you ever smoked? And she said, no. And I said, well, shut up then. You don't know how hard it is to smoke.
An engorged penis.
Hello, and welcome to the return of Son of Liberty Radio here on the Smoke Free Radio Network. It's been 2 weeks. I had my knee surgery, and you guys are going to see some of that later on in the show. I'm going to be mean and make you watch part of the surgery. Anyway, howdy and welcome, and I'm happy to be able to sit here in the chair. My knee is at its fullest extent of bending. They actually unlocked the knee brace a little bit, so I can actually move my knee a little bit, but I don't know how long I'll be able to tolerate it sitting here in the flexed position. And they didn't give me any good pain medicine. I only got Tylenol, not even Tylenol 3, just Tylenol. And let me tell you, we had surgery. I had surgery on Wednesday and Thursday morning, Wednesday night, when the anesthesia and the nerve block and everything sort of wore off. I could not, I was laying in the bed. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to be super manly about this. I was in the bed whimpering that it hurt so bad. But anyway, we're not going to dwell on that too much. But let's bring my cohort, my brother from another mother. Like, he's my way older brother from another mother. Even though I did have a birthday this week, and nobody fucking sent me any money or presents or anything. I'm sort of sad. But anyway, here's Kevin.
You've already got your Geritol and you've already got your AARP card, right?
I'm actually not quite old enough to qualify for the AARP.
But you got your notification.
Yeah. Omicidal says after seven knee surgeries, you think I'm watching that? Laugh out loud, laugh out loud. Look, this is my 5th knee surgery on this knee. This is the 3rd ACL reconstruction on this knee. And this was the fucking worst.
Let's not mix.
I mean,
when you show the video, let's not mix that up with your colonoscopy. We don't want to.
I have one of those somewhere on the hard drive too. If you want to watch that.
No.
So what have you been up to since I've been gone?
I've been on the honeydew list for the week, pretty much. Not ignoring Twitter, but I noticed Ruth is a little pissy this week, even though she blocked me. Couple
you
of
gotta do that
things.
Incognito thing, right? You gotta
I gotta
sneak in there on the Twitters.
Right click and do it. Yeah. That's all right.
Incognito tab.
Yeah, that's all.
But I mean, I literally have not been paying attention to any of that stuff. I was on Twitter like for 5 minutes. I haven't even been posting on Facebook. I mean, other than food. I'm a fat guy. I have to
good.
post food. But other than that, I've been binge watching fucking TV. The doctor, when I had the surgery, he's like, I want you to get up and move as much as possible, but he only gave me 30 degrees of flexion for that first 10 days. And I'm like, well, I can't really walk with 30 degrees of flexion. Not very much, not very good. And
describe inflection.
Well, straight is straight and flexion is bendy, right? So 30 degrees, which was the first. So if my leg is straight like this, 30 degrees is like this.
Yeah.
Something like that. So then when I went for the follow-up last month or 2 Mondays ago, now it's this. It's about 70 degrees.
That's progress.
So if I can get, I'm pretty sure that I can actively get to 90 with some pain. I'm a therapist, is what I do for a living. So, and then I got the torture device in the bed. So when I lay in the bed, I put my leg in this machine and it pushes and pulls my leg while I'm laying there. So, it's fun. But anyway, hey, let's not get too out of bounds here, because we really don't have a plan for the show, because this is just a test to see if I can tolerate doing this. I know you have something to do tomorrow, and our guest has already had a rather long day, he said. So let's just bring in our friend and the much more calmer voice of LoganExhales.
The other Logan.
I'm not always that calm, but thanks for having me.
You do have a much calmer voice.
Certainly no Mike Peterson, but
yeah,
no, you're definitely not Mike Peterson.
No, I'm not vaping in the mic. I might vape in the mic a little bit, but no, he has such a wonderful voice. I could listen to him talk for
almost a man crush.
Well, until I fall asleep.
Yeah. Like he really should do one of those what is that app or whatever, Calm, where they like read you night bedtime stories and things like that.
Oh yeah,
I could just fall asleep to that. That would be fun.
I'm gonna download some like midget porn erotica.
I don't know how we just went from Calm bedtime stories to that
to midget porn.
to midget porn erotica.
I think that he would do a really good job, reading that.
he would do a really good job.
Yeah.
But thanks for having me on, you guys. I appreciate it.
So Logan, what you been up to?
Work. That's about it.
You work in like outside with your hands.
I work in the earth. I dig holes and then I build things. I do a lot of landscape, fence construction, patio work, stuff like this. So you could come down here to Corpus Christi, because I need a new fence. Perfect.
And I have a fountain. It's a waterfall fountain. It's taller than I am. That needs to be moved, and a new concrete platform put down and put back on.
Sure.
Yeah.
We'll just get right on that.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's it. I don't work a lot in the winter. I just deal with snow. And then here this last month, we've kind of gotten out of the snow in New York, getting into spring, better stuff, better weather. So I went back to work full time. And it's the first couple of weeks back of the year always just kick my ass.
It is, well, especially when you've been wintering.
Yeah, you're just kind of hibernating and idle.
And then you go out there and you're like, hey, we have a pallet of topsoil that needs to be moved from there to there.
Oh yeah, I mean it's like right out of the gate. It's just go time for us. The second the weather breaks, it's just work.
Everybody
it's
wants
funny.
to
a few years ago, we took a vacation. We went down to Florida, and the place that we stayed at, I was speaking to some of the landscapers there, and they talk, they work all year round. Florida's beautiful weather, whatever. There's no winter, right? There's no 3-month break or whatever. But I'm watching them, and I'm like, I'm asking, like, how much of this place do you guys do? How much do you get done? Kind of what's your timeline? Things like this, because I'm curious. And then I realized they have the ability to move just so much slower because they have those extra months that we don't get up here in New York. Like for us up here, it's 9 months. You got 9 months. Go. You got, 2 months of spring, 2 months of fall, and then everything in the middle, and it's just go season the entire time, where they're kind of like, we can sit and relax a little bit. It'll be nice out tomorrow. Don't worry, you know?
Yeah, I when I was in college, I ran a landscaping business in New Orleans. I had 100 employees that we did landscaping and yard service.
8.
We did the garden district in the French Quarter, and lawn, just regular cutting the grass.
Sure.
Regular cutting the grass. We made like $50 to $80 a yard.
Yeah.
And you do that year round.
Yeah.
Like we cut grass year round, down here. And that was a lucrative business.
I mean, you can try to cut grass in January in New York if you want, but you're going to probably want to like plow your lawn first, clear the snow, and then you can mow.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's been good. Went back to work. It's been good. I love what I do. I love my job. It keeps me busy, keeps me active. I get to be in the sun. The sun is very good for my brain. In the winter, I get a lot of seasonal depression in the winter and stuff like that. So
no sunlight.
Yeah, no, sun is so good for my brain. And that's part of the reason why I do what I do. And then in the winter, I just get depressed and I hibernate and I snack.
I enjoy putting my hands in the ground and planting stuff. Like we have.
Oh yeah.
Not bodies. You're not. No.
Well, I've done that too, but actually, I extracted bodies from the ground. We had that really bad frost, and it killed everything in our yard, like everything. I have a dead palm tree in the front yard that needs to be removed. I'm waiting. I mean, it's not ready to fall over yet, but all of our bedding plants, all of our shrubs, everything died.
Yeah.
So like a week after the frost, it was 90 degrees again. So we went and we spent like probably close to $1,500 on all new plants.
Yeah.
Even the potted plants that we thought were going to be protected weren't protected. They all died. My wife, threw a fit because all of her jungle in the backyard got killed. So we had to plant a whole new jungle.
Oh, well, that's fun though, right?
Yeah. I like getting my hands in the dirt, but
getting
away. Speaking of dirt now, since the last time that you were on the show, you have taken a position on the CASAA board.
I have. Yeah. I joined
and you've relaunched the CASAA podcast.
Yeah. Yeah. Since we relaunched the CASAA podcast, we've also now recently started doing live streams as well. So we took it, when we relaunched it, it was just a pre-recorded podcast that went onto SoundCloud and Google and things like that. And then we kind of revamped it into a live show that me and Alex do on Saturdays now.
On what, Saturdays?
Yep. Saturdays, 4:30 p.m. Eastern is when that goes on.
Cool. And you're on YouTube and Facebook?
Yes. Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
YouTube and Facebook.
I thought you and I had talked about Twitter as well, but I noticed that you're not on Twitter.
From Periscope that like they were leaving, that like Periscope wasn't going to be doing things on Twitter anymore, and we weren't sure what Twitter was going to be doing as far as like a live broadcast. So I don't know. Apparently nothing happened with that. So,
yeah, because I'm on Twitter right now.
yeah. We're going to be we'll be on Twitter soon as well.
Speaking of that,
in addition to Facebook and YouTube.
I'm gonna go pin us to my top, to the top of my Twitter feed right now.
Way to the top.
All the way at the top. So now we're on the Twitters. We are twits. No, Kevin's the twit. Yeah.
It's like Grandmaster Twit.
So the chat's not going on the TV or something.
The chat's not going on the TV. What are you talking about?
His TV and phone, I think he said.
I'm looking at the Twitter. We didn't say. Oh, you know what? Before we go any further, we skipped this part.
Which part?
Hello, Rom Rabdisk and Homicidal Maniac and Jennifer, the old lady Winstead, and
here we go.
Will Webb and Whiplash Schneidley, who is on Twitter, and Tom and our friend Big Knowledge, Chris Big Knowledge Garland is in the chat room, and Owl, Andrew K, and Toasty Cheese, and let's see who else. I already said you, and you, Victor Altek, and Ed West, and Mark Sliss, and Bruni, and all you people, Addie Tooney, all you people, hello. Sorry for the delay. Hello.
Jennifer wants to know if you dyed your hair.
I did not. I'm aging. I'm aging gracefully like the silver fox, man.
Oh.
Yeah, you are.
Oh,
You've got a lot more up there than I do, man.
Well, and Kevin.
Yeah.
Yeah, well.
It's there, man. The silver's coming.
Mhm.
The silver's coming.
I'm just hoping to get some nice silver in the beard at some point.
I got a silver patch right here.
Yeah, that's all I'm hoping for. I'm hoping for like cool streaks of silver, That's what I'll probably just end up with like a weird patch on the side and that'll be it. But
yeah, you never get what you want, dude.
No, you never get
what you want. No. My wife is always like, hey, because she's 8 years younger than me. She's like, hey, you need to color your hair. And I'm like, no. I did it once. I did it once for the wedding. And I had a lot less silver then, a lot less white or whatever you want to call it, gray then. But I did it one time for the wedding so that the wedding pictures, that like my shiny silver, when the sun hit my head, it didn't like blind people from the silverness. But no, I'm not doing that. If I go bald, I am quite concerned about that though. Why? Because my mom didn't roll me when I was a baby, so my head is misshapen. So there's like a big flat spot back here, and I don't know that my bald head would look. Only when I do this show. Only when I'm on the show. I don't wear a hat.
Extrapolate that through your whole day.
I'm gonna have to. I do have a good collection of these, and if I have to, I will be a hipster kid walking around it.
I will say you are very fashionable, Pat. I do like your hat choices. Well, I started losing hair on the top of my head when I hit 20. So, my grandpa, who I get a lot of I don't know, I guess my hair genetics from, he was bald, completely bald on the top of his head at 18. So
no,
that I still have some, and I just tell people that my hair didn't really leave; it just migrated to my chin and
your
jaw.
brain's getting bigger. That's all.
That's what it is. That's what it is. No. Chris Garland says hair implants, and I'm like, no. What I'll do is I'll go buy like a kufi hat and just walk around and like start fights.
There you go.
Because if you wear that around here where I live, people in Texas will think that I'm some sort of like weird religion that they don't agree with. I don't want to get into this, but a kufi is a particular religion. And I would not wear it for religious choice. I just wear it to start fights.
Oh yeah, there you go. Perfect.
Even
I wish you the best of luck in that.
I defend the right for every human being on the planet to worship the way they worship.
Absolutely.
And if they choose to wear, to be Islamic or Buddhist or Shinto or Christian or Mormon or any of those, I don't care. You know what? And I think actually I like the kufi hat. It's pretty cool.
It's a really cool cowboy hat.
Yeah,
I could get a fez with a propeller on top.
You get a little fan hat. Yeah, the little propeller hat. There you go.
A little fez, but yeah. So I have noticed because I do check my emails. I'm still, we talked about this before, but there are a lot of people that are shutting their businesses down. There are a lot of people in the vape space that are shutting their businesses down because of this online shipping thing, this UPS ban, USPS ban, UPS ban, FedEx ban, DHL ban. But then I see other companies saying, "Hey, we got this worked out." Giant Vapes is saying that they got their shit worked out. 5 Ponds sent out an email saying, "Hey, we're pausing, but by mid I think he said mid-April or mid-March, May or whatever, we're going to have it all worked out. We're going to be able to ship to almost every state or whatever, blah, blah, blah. So, you know, and this is one of the things that we talked about. This thing is an annoyance is what it is. The shipping ban, even though it's not really a ban, is an annoyance. And it is, there are people apparently figuring out ways to work around it. So that means that it's, I mean, obviously it's more expensive.
Sure.
It's more expensive. And, you know, I've, for one, have always said that we undercut, none of us are in the industry, but the vaping industry hurt themselves when they started slashing prices of their product.
Oh, well, yeah. When the industry started selling 100 ml bottles for $15-$20.
You know, when I started vaping, we were paying $1 a mil.
Yeah. $30 for a 30 mil. Yeah.
Yeah. Or
I mean, that's
$28
pre
for
my
30
time
mil.
for anybody wondering, but
yeah,
it's
when we started, we had a product that was priced at a premium. It's important because this is something we're inhaling into our bodies. You know, this, I mean, I sort of want to, even if it's a fucking imitation or fake sense of security that the something that's more expensive is probably made at a higher value.
It's definitely a false sense of security. Yeah.
Now I do know that I've been in e-liquid manufacturing facilities that are like top notch, like, you know, you go through an airlock and you know, you got to be all like netted up and you're, you know, wearing your fucking PPE and all this. And then I know that there are e-liquid companies out there that just have a back room with no airlock and no hair nets, and they're still churning out.
There's plenty of, you know, small manufacturers to do it out of their garage.
There is a difference. Obviously, the quality of the ingredients might be exactly the same.
Right, but there are certain safety protocols and precautions taken that you're going to have in like an ISO certified lab that you're not going to have in your kitchen.
So my homemade e-liquid that I make myself, I'm not selling. I'm confident in my own handling of the product.
Sure.
That I feel like it's clean.
Your own risks with what you're putting in your body.
But if I were to go commercial, then yeah, I would want to spend the money to make it properly and make it clean and make it safe. And that costs money. And that's a value add that you have to turn around and put on the customer.
Sure.
So, I mean, I for one am not
environments and places that we're in regularly where I think our lungs are exposed to. Well, I think a lot of people downplay or I don't know what the right word here is, underestimate what your lungs are able to process in the real world regularly. I think for the most part, unless you're really just doing some real dirty stuff while you're mixing e-liquid, as long as you're using good quality products and, you know, you're just taking common sense approaches to, you know, washing your hands, cleaning your equipment, things like this, you're going to be all right. You know, vaping is
I mean, if you walk through an enclosed an enclosed parking structure, you know, if you walk through an enclosed parking structure, you're probably bringing in more more toxins into your lungs than you would be by vaping lower quality e-liquid.
Yeah.
But my point was, people are now sort of used to paying low prices for product.
Yeah.
Yep.
And now that stuff's going to have to be more expensive.
Yeah.
I've been seeing all sorts of people like, oh, well, that's too expensive, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, it's still cheaper than fucking dying.
Yeah. And it's one of those catch-22s, right, with pricing, because as those prices came down and we moved into the world of 100 mils, you know, for $20, as that came down, maybe the quality of the product came down with it. But what came with that was access. When we look at, again, people who smoke, most people who smoke are low middle income folks. So the more affordable that we can make those products, the more access people who don't have a lot of money already now have to a product that's going to save their life. And for the most part, even your lowest quality, 100 mils for $10 bottle of bubblegum e-liquid that you're going to find or whatever is still going to be vastly safer than continuing to smoke a pack of cigarettes every day.
Yep.
So it's a catch-22, and I see what you're saying, but at the same time, the higher that cost goes, that price is always a barrier, especially for people who smoke. So
yeah,
kind of a double
now
edged.
I will put this out there, and I don't know that I don't see a lot of those low income people vaping.
Yeah,
not the people that are in the lowest. They have access to cigarettes on every corner.
Yeah, absolutely.
And vape shops are not, by and large, spreading into those territories. Those,
No.
where those people live. So, and obviously, vape shops are disappearing. I had 3 vape shops here in town. They're all gone.
Yep,
gone.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I mean, I don't believe. And we've done a piss poor job. We've done a piss poor job over the years moving into those demographics.
Yeah, absolutely. We have.
I mean, Chris is in the chat room. He was on the show 4 weeks ago or whatever now, but he's like, am I the only black vapor you know? Like he came out and said it. And I'm like,
yeah,
no.
And it's
but
sad
you're
to
one
say,
of the,
but I think a point that a lot of people aren't going to want to make, but I'll make it, is that incumbent tobacco companies and Juul and Enjoy along with them have done more to bring vapor products into those communities than your average vape shops or your major vapor companies, your open system companies and things like that have. And Juul did a great thing putting their product right at the end of Marlboro's.
Yeah, no, I mean, I saw a meme today, and it was in a vapor group, and it was one of my forays into Facebook. I should have stayed the fuck away, but it was a meme, and it was like, if you see somebody vaping or using a Juul, tell them it's bad for them.
No, please don't.
And I was like,
no,
but it's not bad for them.
No,
I mean, you can, if they have time and you want to sit down and talk to them about what Juul as a business has done, that's fine.
By all means. Yeah.
How do you drink your coffee, Logan? How do you like your coffee?
Usually black. Otherwise, if I do add anything to it, I really like a little bit of milk and honey.
So I'm light and sweet. Does that really affect you that it's light and sweet for me?
Not at all.
Stop fucking with the Juul people. Stop. Leave it alone.
I get it.
I don't want to give a lot of credence to incumbent tobacco companies, and I gave RJ Reynolds my money for well over a decade. But the fact of the matter is they're putting out products that are safer than smoking. People who don't have access to vape shops, like Pat said, they're increasingly fewer and far between. People who don't have access to vape shops, alongside the mail ban, things like this that are going on, those products being in convenience stores are more important than ever to people who smoke.
Yeah. No, it was that one, and Gregory Conley and I were I think it was on Twitter, or it might not have been. It might have been on Facebook post, but somebody said, well, Juul, we have no idea what these big tobacco companies are putting into their vapor products and blah blah blah. And I'm like, okay, so
I said that once.
There is no industry in the United States, probably in the United States, that is under more scrutiny than the tobacco companies.
Shh, don't tell anyone. They're washing their VG in ammonia. No, like it's just,
and I'm like, they have. I mean, if you look at the pictures from their research and development thing in Switzerland, their big science center. I've said this on the show before. It looks like a fucking Star Trek ship. I mean, it's that high tech.
Yeah.
And you look at the pictures from their manufacturing facilities, those people are on the, they're wearing their encounter suits while producing these products. There is no company in the world. There are no companies in the world under more scrutiny than these people.
Yeah.
And when you look at their PMTAs for even a tobacco product, but you look at Juul's PMTA, it's like 500,000 pages.
Yeah.
You look at the what's the Views. You look at the Views PMTA, it's 500,000 pages. They've done the science, they've done the work. I mean, I'm not going to defend any of their actions, and I'm not going to say that I like any of these products because I don't like Juul. I don't like nicotine salts. I don't like Views because it tastes like shit. And it's not even a nicotine salt. It's a free base nicotine. And I said free base, and I know you guys don't like that word, but it is the fucking scientific word.
Yeah.
So, bringing out these I mean, obviously in the past, they might have put something in their product half a century ago that was detrimental. But do you think these guys are going to play that game now? No. They're working as cleanly as possible. There is no possibility.
The incumbent tobacco companies of today are not the same tobacco companies that they were in 1940.
And it went from nicotine evil to now it's just nicotine.
Yeah.
It's not all the combustion.
But here's the thing. Like, I'm not supportive of big tobacco companies, but I am supportive of people, and I am supportive of people finding products that help them quit smoking, and in any fashion. So whether that means somebody goes in and buys, a Views or a Juul or something like that, or a Blue, that's fine with me. That's encouraged by me. Please go do that. I would encourage people from there to hopefully pique some interest in the rest of what's available in that space. But the most important part is that those products are available for people who smoke, and
it's
that's where it ends for me, I guess.
I'll tell you, I've never used a Blue product, but after the meeting with the president, Blue got a lot more respect from me after that meeting, because they actually were one of the few people to stand up for flavors.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I've never used their products. I mean, I know that the My Blue is a My Von Earl. It's the same thing as the Von Earl.
Yeah.
That everybody in the world loved 5 years ago, 4 years ago, whatever.
Yep.
But somebody made a product and sold it to Big Tobacco because they were going to get a paycheck. I mean, that's what it is.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And it's far superior to the product that they had out before that. So,
yeah.
I know that David Gerlitz doesn't like them very much, and I love David Gerlitz, but it is what it is.
And the other thing here too is, like, I've known countless, and it didn't work for me. The first vapor product I ever tried was in 2011, and it was an Enjoy. And it wasn't enough to get me through the doors of a vape shop at that point. But I have talked to so many people that bought an e-cigarette at a gas station on a whim because it was there in a little display case, and they used it for a day or two, and it was enough to pique their interest, and they either visited a vape shop or they went online. They got curious about the other products available, and through that they found whether open systems or whatever it may be, and went that route. So whether those are products that somebody continues to use and they go into that convenience store every day or every other day or every week to buy those products, or whether they go in once and they buy a Views and they go, hey, I like this. This is working for me. What else is out there? Both of those things are fantastic to me. Those are both fantastic outcomes, regardless.
Hey, I've said, I said this I think on the last show. I used to have a thing called a Joytech E-roll, which was a cigarette form. It was a refillable, had a coil and everything that you could replace, and it was shaped like a cigarette. And I
have the little red LED light on the end.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think it was blue. But it had a little pack that you could put you had a spare battery, and you could, switch out the batteries because they were only like 750 mAh or whatever. But I want one of those again. I, feel like that's the one thing that I've always missed about vaping is like this, being able to hold it in my hand, because I talk with my hands. And I always, and I can't find one. I need to.
I know there are
find
a few,
somebody,
newer generation, like really small pods that are really close to that size.
Yeah, no. I actually, the E-Roll, there is a new version of it out. I just don't know anybody that sells Joytech products anymore.
Oh, yeah.
But I need to find somebody that has a wholesale account that has Joytech and has the E-Roll, because I need like one of those and like a case of filters.
Yeah. Yeah. I really like what Mark just said in chat.
Yep.
He said, no less than 3 gas station vape quitters walked into my shop today and switched to open systems. They serve a purpose and are helping to make quitters. Absolutely.
Well, I've had bunches of people on here. I had a guy on here argue with me that they should pull all vape products out of convenience stores.
Absolutely.
And I was like, what? And he's like, yeah, more vape shops will open if you just take the vape products out of the vape shops. And I argued with him on the show. He's like, yeah. I was like, there are people that live in very rural areas. I said, what are they going to do? Build a fucking vape shop in a cow pasture? Oh, yes. And this is somebody that was like well respected in the vaping advocacy world. And I was like, your head is up your ass. Vape shops, the margins are not.
Head is up your ass section of the show.
Yeah. The vape shops, the margins are not high enough that they can just build a store for a handful of customers.
Yeah,
it's never going to be that way. So, and by and large, the vast number of conversions happen in convenience stores and tobacco shops.
The vast number of people in this country who are currently using an e-cigarette in one shape or another are people using gas station e-cigarettes, Fuses, Juuls, Blues, everything that we're talking about. That's the vast majority of people using vapor products in this country.
There's no fucking question about it. Obviously we can look at the size, the monetary value of the industry, of the open market, that we have estimates, we have numbers, and we have the total number of the industry. So obviously we can compare those two numbers. Big tobacco would not be moving into this industry. They would not have spent all that money buying Juul if there was no money in it.
Right.
Now, obviously, Juul took a fucking hit because of the E-Valley and all this, and the kids, the youth vaping epidemic and stuff.
Yeah, they were,
but they're still, but those other products are still on the shelves and people are buying them.
Mark described to me basically. I went from a Crave Cigalike, and I thought, yeah, it's good, but it ain't really enough. And then I did, you just said earlier, Logan, I researched and I thought, well, I'm going to go down to the Traders World Market down here 60 miles away and spend $80 on an Ego battery and a thing at the time at 2013.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that's better. That's much better.
Yeah.
But I was on
that
that
journey
towards.
Happens every day.
Yeah.
I spent like $150 on a fucking Cigalike, Cigalike battery.
Yeah.
In 2010 at a mall kiosk, and I never smoked another cigarette again.
Yep.
So, it was like 36 milligram. So, obviously when Logan started, there was no 36 milligram anymore.
Well, there was. I mean, the vape shop that I went to would mix up to 42. I believe I quit with an 18 milligram, August 2017. But the first time I ever tried an e-cigarette was an Enjoy from a gas station. It was like 2011. And
Enjoy King.
Yeah, it had the little red, looked like a cigarette pack that it came in, the case for it. And I bought it on a whim. There was a big display right at the checkout. And I was a Camel filter guy. And so I went in to get a pack of Camels, and there was this display case for Enjoys, and I kept seeing them all over the place. And I just said, hell, I'll take one of those too. I'll give it a try. I didn't enjoy it back then. I also had zero intention to quit, zero intention to switch. I knew nothing about the products. I just bought it on a whim just to see what it was. And it didn't work for me then, but I knew enough at when I quit in 2017, there was a vape shop in town. I had seen people vaping. I had talked to a few people who had started vaping, and they were saying, it's so much better, whatever. And I had a day where I decided, look, I need to do something about my health. And my first thought was, there's a vape shop in my town. Mm-hmm. I tried this before, but that was a long time ago. Maybe the technology's gotten better. Maybe these products have gotten better. I'm just going to go on a whim here and give it a shot. And I did. And it was the best decision I made.
Yep. Yeah. No, I mean, I don't think anybody in the chat room or Kevin or I would argue that choosing not to smoke cigarettes and choosing, whatever worked for us to quit.
Yeah, absolutely.
Was a bad decision. I don't think anybody's going to make that argument. I mean, obviously, Alex doesn't even vape anymore. He uses snus.
Yeah. I use snus.
And
I don't have any with me.
I actually have a can here too.
I use snus. I use nicotine pouches. I vape. The only thing I don't do now is I just don't smoke cigarettes.
I actually I'm down to my last little bit of snus, and I need to place an order. But it's like you got to buy so much to make it worthwhile.
Yeah, you do have to buy a bunch to make it worthwhile. But I mean,
because the shipping
is really great products out there, though. There's a lot of
but not here
products out there. No, you gotta import. But yeah, there's a lot of great products out there. I do want to say though, going back, you had mentioned the person that you were arguing about with shutting down, vapor sales in gas stations and things like this. Yeah. And I'll say this right now. That is the difference between a vape advocate and a tobacco harm reductionist. That's the difference. There are a lot of people who are very staunch, like, don't bother with snus. These nicotine pouches are bad. We don't want Juuls and Fuses and gas stations and all this stuff. And those are people who just solely support open vapor system product, like that market, and that's it. And I say that's fine. That's cool for you. But please, for the love of God, don't ever call yourself a harm reductionist, because you're not. You're just supporting the thing that you like.
Yeah.
You're not supporting harm reduction. You're not supporting consumers. You're not supporting people. You're definitely not supporting smokers. You're just supporting the thing that you like, which is fine. We're all entitled to support the thing that we like, but that's the major difference. And it's a shame, I think. And I understand people's disdain. I understand people's qualms with incumbent tobacco companies. And would I much rather see gas stations selling products from smaller companies or something like that? Maybe, as long as those gas station employees are trained and knowledgeable, that would be great. But let's face it, smaller companies don't have the money and the wherewithal to be in every gas station across America.
Well, the problem with that is the very few, if any, vape companies, open vape companies on the market have the footprint to be able to produce product for that many outlets. I mean, there's like 160,000 convenience stores in the United States.
Right.
Even if you were in half of those, if you were in 80,000 convenience stores, there's no vaping company that can produce enough product to keep those products on the shelf.
Yeah.
So I mean, there is
a good thing that incumbent tobacco companies are moving to safer products. Yeah. I think that's nothing but a good thing.
Yeah. I mean,
did you ever think you'd see the day? And then, anti-tobacco doesn't want you to see the day.
Yeah. I mean, no, not really. But, here we are. And I think it's a fantastic thing. And I hope that more people continue to quit with Fuses and Juuls and Blues and whatnots. And hopefully they take the next step and they walk into a vape shop and they continue to support their local vape shop from there.
Yep.
That's what
Did you see the show that we had Dr. Mark Tyndall on the show?
I did not.
Most
of the time Pat, when you guys are live, I'm usually in bed.
Well, there is a thing called replay.
Yeah, I don't do
that. So
Ever.
Dr. Tyndall is in I want to say Toronto, and he was a researcher, and he's one of the guys that opened the very first safe injection sites in Canada.
Yep.
And he's done TED Talks and stuff, and he started sort of actively tweeting about tobacco harm reduction and about vaping in the last year and a half or so. So we had him on the show, and one of the things is, he was saying, you would never go to an insulin dependent diabetic and say, stop your insulin.
Right.
You would never go to somebody and say, stop whatever it is that's keeping you alive.
Yeah.
And, this is the only disease, if you want to call it, dependency or whatever. This is the only disease that we basically tell people we don't treat the illness. Like, by and large, the general public just thinks that you can just stop.
Sure.
There's no mitigation. There's no treatment. This is the cure, cold turkey, or one of these products that we know doesn't work. And it is funny to me that, obviously drug users have been demonized and othered in every possible way. I mean, there was an entire ad campaign when I was a kid, and they were in black and white, and they were kind of done in a gritty style, and they showed heroin addicts, like dirty heroin addicts, and basically trying to show everybody the ugliest version,
sure,
just to demean those people. And then obviously we've made those comparisons here on the show about vaping, and about obviously smoking and vaping have been demonized and sort of othered and stuff. And I'm not trying to say that they've attacked us nearly as hard as they attacked those people, but it is a much more it is the same tactic. It's like, you're not one of us, you have to go over there,
Yeah, absolutely.
You are instead of and I think the last time you were on the show, we talked about the language that we use and the language they use when talking about people that smoke.
People who smoke.
Yeah, you are a smoker.
Nope.
That is what you are. That one behavior that you do
one thing
is what you are.
Yeah.
It's the same thing as like, oh, you're an addict. You're a tweaker. You're a whatever.
You're whatever. Yeah.
So yeah, those words are damaging.
Yeah, I mean,
and I tweeted about this maybe 2 months ago or something, where I said, maybe instead of attacking the people that are doing something that you don't like, maybe you should probably address what is making them do that thing that you don't like with love, instead of
why you don't like it.
Instead of attacking them, instead of trying to make them less than you.
Yeah.
That's the one thing that always sort of bothers me now. And this hasn't always bothered me. I think it probably since you've been on the show that it sort of made it into the front of my head about the way we talk about these.
Sure. I mean,
things.
language has a lot of impacts. I mean, when you look at medicine in general, when you look at doctors, nurses, people who work in public health, their perception, which is influenced in part by language, can lead to disparities in the way that we help people and that we treat people. That's one thing. When we continually stigmatize people who use drugs, not only does that lead them to most likely not seek help, but it also can lead people to using in isolation out of, again, stigma. Isolation is a great way to lead to unintended things like fatal overdoses. So there are a lot of real world impacts that language has. And I think that it's something, really important. So yeah, people who smoke, people who use drugs, as opposed to smokers, junkies, addicts, things like that. And it's really just this, like, I don't know, really just shitty way to talk about other human beings, just in general. And again, like you said, like, it's not the one thing that defines you. Whether or not and to be fair, the vast majority of all of us use drugs, by the way, whether you use illicit drugs or you use legal drugs. Yeah, sure. Kevin's he's a poly user tonight. So
I'm an addict.
So yeah, it's really a perception thing. It's a stigma thing. It's and it's just a really big shame because it's such a simple thing to just use better language, and
I can't let these people do these things. These are bad for you. This is every hearing.
Yeah.
No, yeah. I mean, I can't remember the quote right off. I'm trying to open David's Facebook because he just retweeted it or posted on Facebook a month or two ago about the conversation that he had with the tobacco executive, and he said, "Hey, well, do you smoke?" And the guy's like, "No, we reserve the right to smoke for the poor, the poor, the black, the dumb, or something like
young,
that." And
the
young and the dumb,
stupid,
stupid. And every time I read that, I'm like, yeah, I mean that is actually scientifically verifiable.
Sure.
Because the numbers of smokers tend to be in the poor, the black, the uneducated,
low and middle income people. Yeah.
They know their market.
Yeah.
And
80% of the world's smokers are in low and middle income countries.
They were successful in their efforts to focus on that demographic.
Yeah.
And that I always think about that, ever since the first time, if you've ever been to an event or you've ever watched David talk, he says that same thing every time because it's powerful. It
Extreme.
It lets you know that they knew what they were doing when they did it.
And you're manipulating younger people. I was 9. And your parents are saying, grow up, and your friends are saying, rebel. And then you go, oh, well, I'll do this, or whatever it is that you're going to do. If you're going to break windows, and I don't suggest it, but doing whatever, egging or toilet papering, whatever the rebellious thing is. And then you're getting, dependent on it. And then you go, oh, I can't stop. Oh, you're a smoker. And it makes, like you said, it can create isolation. And it can create rebellion,
Yeah. And I mean, for me, like, I started smoking at 14. I was a young punk. I was a young skater. That was the crowd that I was hanging with. And every one of them smoked. Every single person that I knew that I hung out with smoked. And so cigarettes were readily available. All my friends smoked. And it was just something that I picked up. And it really, I don't think it dawned on me for probably the first full year, like a whole year of smoking went by that I was like, I smoke, you know what I mean? Like, this is what I do. Like I identified as a smoker from that point on. And, once I got into my early 20s, I had tried to quit a few times. I tried patches, I tried gums, I tried lozenges, and none of that worked. The gums and lozenges specifically, I just remember putting in a piece of Nicorette gum, chewing it, and within 2 minutes lighting a cigarette, and now I'm smoking while chewing this gum. And it just had no effect. It did nothing for me, and I remember maybe the last year of me smoking, settling into this idea, this is what's going to kill me. Mm-hmm. And I think a lot of people who smoke settle into that idea where you've tried to quit. And then you're like, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to smoke until I die. And this is what's going to
slow suicide.
Yeah, absolutely. And you settle into that idea. And finding vaping was, was just a miraculous thing for me, because now I don't feel like doing this thing. I'm going to die. Like, this isn't what's going to kill me. There are probably a million other things, potentially that are going to be my downfall. But the delivery system of nicotine that I use today will not be it.
No.
Some giant bag of concrete from
on
the job site falling on your head is probably...
Yeah, I'll get ran over by a loader or something, and that'll be... My mod will survive, but I won't, Something like that.
Yeah, I mean...
Save the mod!
Yeah, I throw it to the side or something. Take me instead. No, but...
this week... Logan and I were tweeting back, we were messaging on Twitter, and I was showing my new little setups.
It's beautiful.
Well, this is the new one. That's the old. Yeah, look at
that little 18350 is a beautiful.
Well, both of these are 183. These are
they're beautiful. I only have one 18350 mod. I have a little what is it called? The Notion. Yeah. That's the only little 18350 that I've got.
Well, I mean, yeah, I just like it. It's one.
I'm in love with this. This is what I'm in love with right now.
Oh, this one?
Yeah. I have the nice toffee one. I'm the only person that I know that got a toffee one. Yeah, thanks to my buddy Mitch sent me this. It's a fantastic little mod, though.
I cracked open a new slide because I broke Phil and Deemy's.
The slide is my daily driver, man. The slide is a fantastic little tank. I mean, this is my work mod. This is what I take with me every day to work. It's a little Aegis Mini. So again, if the loader runs me over, the mod will survive, but I won't. And a slide, because when I'm at work and I'm working with dirt and dust and concrete and all sorts of stuff, like if I drop my mod or something like that into a pile of dirt or mud or something happens to it, I don't have the time a lot of days to sit down and rebuild and clean my coils and wash my stuff and whatever. With that, I could run it under some water, throw the old coil out, pop a coil in, and go. It's just I just got an idea. This is free to the world. Anybody that has a 3D printer thingy should make like plugs to go in the top of your mouthpiece. When I first started vaping, this was one of my biggest things was that I would get a lot of dirt and dust down in my drip tip, and I was kind of constantly like pulling my drip tip out and like blowing through the other end of it to get dust and dirt and debris out of there. And I was constantly getting like my coils would go bad really quick because I was getting like shit in them. You know what I mean? And I was vaping that way too. And the guy at the vape shop suggested like just go get some silicone and pour it into your, get it into your drip tip and make like a mold, make like a plug, and you'll be good to go. And yeah, it was a fantastic idea. And now I just leave it in the truck, and I just go to the truck and vape.
See, I'm always worried about leaving stuff in the car during because I mean in Texas it gets like 110 degrees out here. I don't want to leave
that's a concern. Yeah,
my shit in the car. So I will oftentimes throw it in my pocket because my work shirt has a pocket here. But then the first moment I bend down,
there it goes. It's on
there
the ground.
It goes, boom. And if I'm outside, boom, into the dirt.
I know some products now, like they've started making some things that have little caps, that go right over the whole drip.
Well, like some of the pods have like caps,
yeah.
But just like a little. Great. I think if they made them out of like Al's in the room, he makes vape bands. He's the guy that owns vape bands. So he knows about injection molding and stuff. They could make like a little rubber thing, and you could make a little decorative topper. Just
like a little wine topper, like a little wine stopper or something.
Yeah.
Get your PMTA ready.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean that was that's my daily driver just because it's easier, and then I leave all the other goodies at home and that's what I use.
Hey, Kevin, where's the other Logan?
Always. I got a really good picture of him last night. Got him a new couch. He's a happy little camper, 2.5 now, but he's not here tonight.
What an age.
Oh, he's not there. Oh,
yeah.
What an age.
Oh, so grandpa doesn't have to.
I'm running loose all by myself. Yep. He's not here to watch me tonight.
Kevin on the loose. Watch out.
So Kevin can like say all sorts of stuff, and
Well, he's
so
already saying
hey, I
it.
promised to do this real quick. So everybody, look at this.
Oh.
Oh, here we go. These are your insides.
That's my knee. That's inside. So they got that thing, that bar is in there to pull the bones apart so that they can string the new ligament through. And there comes the drill. And it's a drill. It's got a suction. So the all that hair, all that fibrous material, like they go in and sand that down with a grinder.
That's good.
So there's like hunks of bone right in there. That's
no disclaimer, nothing. You just show it all.
yeah. I didn't want to
want
forget.
everybody to know that I joined tonight just to see Patrick's insides. That's the only reason I joined.
Chris said he wanted to eat beforehand.
Yeah. It kind of looks like you ever had like an aquarium with fish and you sprinkle like little fish pellets?
Oh, there's some blood. Oh, there's some blood. There's the volcano of blood.
Oh, look at that.
That's actually bone marrow.
Yeah.
There's the second drill. They got the section in there.
You know how many people just like left? They were like, okay, I'm done with this.
Yeah, we got 2 viewers left. 3, it's us.
That's all right.
So did they tell you had to stop using nicotine before your surgery, Patrick?
No,
because I had a friend of mine, personal friend of mine that I've known for 30-something years. I agree, Chris. Couldn't get what I consider life-saving surgery because she vaped. Because of nicotine. And I gave her a few links, and it pisses me off.
Well, there was a big chunk of something floating around in there.
There are people that
that's the wide bore there.
Smoking prior to like heart surgeries and things like this.
That's it, because it's a stimulant, and obviously it is going to cause your heart rate to go up a little bit, very little bit, but yes, it will.
Sure,
it's a stimulant.
There's a transient increase in your heart rate simply because it's a stimulant, along with your blood pressure as well. But there are accounts from people that I've spoken to that were told prior to a heart surgery you need to quit smoking. And they did, with a vapor product, continued to vape and were able to get their surgery and were just fine.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's one of those situations, when we say vaping saves lives, it's very real that vaping saves lives. If that person hadn't been able to quit smoking and hadn't transitioned and found a product that satisfied them, they may not have been able to get the surgery they needed. And they might not be here today. There's a very real chance that that person would not be here with us today had they not switched to vaping.
Yep. They use the word vasoconstriction, which I never heard of until I started vaping. And according to, I believe, and I'd link it, but I don't have the ability tonight. My mouse is screwing up. 4 people since like 1999 have reported vasoconstriction.
You know how many things cause like a transient level of vasoconstriction?
Okay, I see. I wasn't even saying it right. That's
vasoconstriction.
Oh, blow me!
You know how many things cause that?
Everything does.
Everything.
Patrick,
going up and down the stairs. Patrick causes
Standing up causes vasoconstriction.
Yeah, all sorts of things. I mean, any level of exercise causes vasoconstriction. Playing video games, running, jumping, having sex, all sorts of things.
Well, Kevin hasn't had that in a while, so.
Well, okay, so sorry, Kevin. But anyways, for the rest of us, all that stuff causes that, and a lot of that stuff causes it to a much greater degree than
white coat syndrome. I've got white coat syndrome. I hate doctors. I never like doctors.
I hate doctors, but I don't.
My blood pressure in my ears just turn bright red every time I go into a freaking doctor. So that itself is worse than Patrick, actually, in my opinion.
Wow, how is that possible?
I know. I don't like you very much.
Hey, there are 8 more videos. If you want me to put another one up, I will.
Don't mix them up.
I just used that one because it's got the drill coming through.
Well, yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah,
it kind of surprised me. I was like, "Whoa, there it is."
There's another one. There's another one from like inside, looking through.
Put it on TikTok.
Posterior to anterior, and you can actually see the bottom part of the patella. It's really cool.
I don't want to see the bottom of your patella, but you should put it on TikTok.
I kind of want to see the bottom of your patella, Pat.
Look,
now
bonding.
You said it dirty.
Oh, man. I mean, look, I'll pay.
I don't want to see the time.
Well,
I'm not proud.
Hey, there's one of those super chats that we don't have.
Oh my god.
Oh yeah, I could totally do that. But
Stop
I don't want
clicking.
Kevin will rebel. Kevin will be like, no.
It's really cool that you have those videos. I mean, I had surgery on my ankle. I have a metal plate and 8 screws in my ankle that holds me together. And
Yeah.
I wish that I had those. I wish I had videos of that. That would have been really, really cool.
Yeah, he handed my wife a folder with photographs with just like screenshots from the video and the stick drive after the surgery.
It's like proof that we did it.
Yeah, there it is.
Mm-hmm. Dig.
Yeah.
And he's in there with like a little Dremel, he's like grinding shit down in there and sucking it out.
Yeah, cleaning you all out, man. You were all gunked up. They had to get you all cleaned out.
Yeah. That's arthritis, bitch.
Yeah. But yeah, I wish I had something. I had like a before and after. I had the jigsaw picture of what my ankle looked like beforehand, and then I had the here's your fix photo, and that was it. I will say though, I don't recall this happening whatsoever, but I was informed by the doctor afterwards that I woke up during my surgery. Yeah, I apparently woke up, started to sit up. I looked my surgeon dead square in the eyes, and then I just went right back to sleep.
Mine was seeing the doctor a few days later for the follow-up, and I said, "Hey, do you have any questions?" "Yes." "Did I wake up during surgery?" He says, "Do you think you did?" I said, "Well, let me ask you the timeline." I said, I woke up, it was really, really bright. And he said, and you said, he literally said, "We have to be able to see to do your surgery, sir," or Kevin, or whatever he called me. And I said, "And you've got music." "Yeah, we like to have music while we're doing our work." And he said, "That's exactly what you said." And that's exactly what I said. And then I went right back out.
Yeah, I didn't say anything. Apparently, I woke up. I started to sit up. I looked him dead in the eyes, and then I just went back. I just went back out. So
I won't show anymore. Kevin's squeamish, and Chris is already talking about throwing up in the chat room.
Will wants to know if you're going to have those screenshots framed and hang them in the front.
Well, they're only they're not big enough to frame. The
TikTok,
they printed them out on an 8.5 by 11, but the actual image is just like this big. So.
TikTok,
you should put them up on TikTok.
Put them in the hall.
TikTok. What the hell is TikTok?
See, I don't know. I don't tick and I don't talk, but everybody else.
I think I'm too old for that. I mean,
Yeah,
I did just
patella.
have a birthday this week.
Yeah, you could have your patella all up on TikTok, bro.
You could make $1 million. Just web Twitter on Twitter, and
Yeah,
Yeah.
you could be like a patella influencer on TikTok.
I could be the old man patella guy.
Yeah,
that sounds like a good
everybody
guy.
has see that's your niche right there. You've found your niche.
That's your tag.
And I think you're the man for the job.
Could be. Will, you'd actually have to wait until Paul is here because he's the Tic Tac expert.
Yeah, not as opposed to TikTok, it's Tic Tac.
Yeah, just one Tic Tac at a time.
Drone porn.
Somebody asked, my wife asked me like 2 years ago at Christmas time, we were at like Sam's and they had like a drone like kit for Christmas. And she's like, "Oh, you should get that." And I'm like, "What the hell am I going to do with that?"
Fly it around, man.
I have no interest in. I mean, when Fig got his and started posting videos for like 5 seconds, I was like, "Oh, that looks like it could be fun." But then it's like it's a lot of money, and you got to deal with like
it's a hobby thing, though, right? Like when people
and you got to use it.
Like
You got to use it more than once a month, to justify. And I would probably not do that.
Yeah,
drone users.
Yeah. I mean, I don't see anything wrong with it if that's your hobby, if that's what you're into, and you want to.
No, I mean, I wouldn't.
I love it. I don't have one, but I like watching those videos.
Yeah, knock yourself out. I think it's cool.
Yeah.
I
I mean, if you lived in like the Hollywood Hills and you could fly the damn thing, I did see that there is a pot company in California in the Hollywood Hills area that is delivering pot via drone.
I think that's fantastic.
Wow.
To their clientele. I was watching Kevin Smith because he's a big like YouTuber and he does a lot of stuff and podcasts and you can spend an entire day watching content. Like he's just vomiting out content like left and right, and he was on his back patio waiting for his pot delivery.
Sure.
And
that's fantastic.
Came down. I was like, cool,
Yeah. Hey, do you think that we'll ever move into a space where we can get vape mail deliveries by drone?
Only if Amazon does it.
Only if Amazon does it.
Amazon is already working on that. Like that's something that they've been actively pushing.
I'm sure they are
for years.
I'm
for like the last 2 years.
That Bezos doesn't have like a million drones already in the air right now.
So, yeah, I mean, if anybody in the world could figure out a way to get out of the or around the vape mail ban, even though they already have like a terms of service against selling vape products on their service that still get sold on their services. But if anybody could do it, it would be him. And he'd be like, hey, look, we've got cameras on all of our drones. And if people are waiting on their back patio, we snap a picture of them when they pick up their shit, and we've got proof of.
Yeah, or maybe his has a little scanner on the front.
Yeah,
you just hold
up your ID to the
and it scans it right there, and then it releases the thing. And
yeah,
you need to copy.
There you go. Yeah, somebody get on this. Somebody get on this idea.
Yeah, talk to Bezos because he's got the money. You know, I was joking. I was sending messages to Julie and to Greg, and I don't know if I floated it on the show or not, but I was like, Amazon has those drop-off sites where if you're not going to be at home and you want to receive your package, they rent space in a retail store, and you go up and you type in your thing and swipe your ID, and it opens a locker.
They're doing it for pizza.
So Amazon here in the town, like in the Chinese restaurant that's like a mile and a half down the road, they have an Amazon box in the thing.
I agree with Chris. I need human contact as well.
Well,
but in the
for new people, yeah, I think that's an imperative. But like for those of us that have been vaping for years, we know what we like already, and we buy the same shit over and over and over and over and over and over again.
Yeah.
And
you're absolutely right. For converting people, like, I don't know, online or even convenience stores, that's where they really fall short, is product knowledge and caring staff and people who are there to help you get started. And
well, now I know that you always like to see the positives in the world, Logan. But the vast number of vape shops.
You're going to tell me not every vape shop is like that? Thanks for the update.
The 1% of vape shops that actually are like you describe, versus the 99%.
I was really fortunate. I mean,
that aren't.
Yeah, I was.
Everybody that owns a vape shop that's in our chat room is in that 1%.
Yeah, I was really fortunate to have a vape shop in my town with incredible people that really just helped me every step of the way. I mean, I did not go online in any fashion with vaping for probably the first 6 months that I was vaping. I just spent that 6 months going to the vape shop, hanging out there, talking to people. I learned everything that I needed to know about the product, what products were. I mean, I would just spend hours in the vape shop just talking shop about vaping and new products and like trying liquids or whatever it was. And that was it. Like there's an excellent vape shop in this town. They're still just clinging on. But I mean, if to anybody out there, if you have a vape shop that's like that, if you have a really great vape shop in your town, support them as much as you can.
Yeah.
because they're fewer and far between in general. And you're right, there's a lot of vape shops out there where it's just a business to them. You know, it's just they're there to sell a product and make money, and that's it.
Yeah. I mean, we actually have tons of people in our chat room that are amazing people. Like, you know, Bucky's in the chat room, and you know, I'm pretty damn sure that Tom and Victor and all the guys that are in the chat room that own vape shops are doing that one-on-one thing. You know, there's a reason why, you know, Demetrius, when he opened his stores, focused on, you know, not building out huge stores, but building out stores that had product and being able to have the staff there that could talk people through. He says, you know, people come in and they sit at the counter for an hour. You know, we talk to them.
Yeah.
And a lot of vape shops don't do that. Simply don't do that. They're churning out, you know, they're trying to get you in and out, and they're trying to sell whatever it is that they're trying to push this week. And, you know, every business does that. Oh, well, you know, we have 500 of these in stock. We need to push these. That happens. That is true. But, you know, you got to put in that effort. You got to do that counseling. You got to talk to people through the process. You got to explain, you know, priming your coils and
I quit smoking, you know. That was that.
Well, I hate to do this, guys, but the throbbing is starting. Two knee surgery videos. And a chat with Logan has made the throbbing begin. So glad to have you on, Logan. Do you have any final thoughts?
For everybody out there, language matters. We talked about that, and I think that's a really important thing. But I think being a vape advocate is great, and I think that we should all be vape advocates, but I would encourage more people to move towards being a harm reductionist in general, getting involved in the greater harm reduction community, and just stay safe out there, everybody. That's it. I guess that's all I've got.
What about you, Kev?
We were talking about vape shops. I linked something in the chat. Vape shop employees, do they act as smoking cessation counselors? I don't think you guys are smoking cessation counselors specifically. It's kind of a half-assed report or study or whatever, but something to carry into your local people who are trying to ban you from doing so. I think you guys are a lot more knowledgeable than they're implying, I guess. So I know individually in states, the battles are still raging. There's still lots of fires, and we're still standing here waiting to see what happens, and we're rooting for every freaking one of you. And I love you all. And thanks for having me.
And you know, I appreciate everybody that came to listen, and I know we're getting a little bit better. We're getting a little bit better on the knee.
Yes, join CASAA.
Everything's getting better. So you know, we're gonna slide back into the normal frame of things. But keep an eye on CASAA, because Logan is very active over there doing the podcasts and stuff. Pay attention to their calls to action. Pay attention to the, hey, look at this, because sometimes they don't do a call to action, but they say, hey, look at this. And you know what? Pay attention to what your city council and what your state is doing.
Yeah,
you know?
Absolutely. Yeah, we're trying to start doing a little more of is not necessarily like calls to action, but kind of this is what we're watching, I guess. We did a lot of that in Texas recently, where like there were a lot of bills. There's a lot of bills going on in Texas right now, and it's a great example of it. Where for a while we didn't have a direct call to action up, but we had a list of the bills that we were tracking and what was going on. So just kind of like things to keep an eye on. But yeah, absolutely. Join CASAA. If you don't have a testimony up on CASAA, please go post a testimony. Hey, we have over 13,000 of them posted.
One of the things that Logan probably won't do, but I'm going to do, is everybody should go, you know, that super chat that you were going to send me because we do an awesome show. Go over to CASAA and hit the donate link and hit them with $5.
Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely. Hit them with $5.
Yeah. To anyone out there that thinks CASAA runs on $1 billion budget, we don't. Your $5 is greatly appreciated.
We're not. I'm not telling you to get them $50. I mean, if you got $50, give them $50.
Yeah, we'll take $50.
Every dollar that you send them, every dollar that you send them is money well spent, and it's money that will put more effort into what they do. I mean, they can only do so much, and eventually the well is going to run dry. And if you want a voice, if you want somebody representing you as the vapor, you got to help. And, every little dollar helps. There's a guy that ran for president. There's a guy that ran for president on $5 donations. So, I mean, he didn't win, but he had a lot of fucking money. So $5, man.
And you are merchandise. We have really dope state shirts.
The CASAA state shirts are awesome. I have the Texas one because I live in Texas. But there's a couple other ones. There's one on there that I really wanted. It was weapons of what does it say? Weapons of mass, not destruction.
Oh,
disruption.
I have a New York
weapons of mass disruption. That's the one I want.
Yeah.
But so we're gonna come back in a week, and if I get bored during the week or something, and I'm still convalescing here, the doctor told me that I would be out of work for 4 to 6 weeks, and then when he put in my paperwork for because I'm on disability right now, my disability, he put like 12 weeks, and now I'm like sort of paranoid that I'm not going to be working for 12 weeks, and it's driving me crazy because I'm stuck in the house.
It'll go faster.
Talk to your therapist.
Just hang out with Kevin every day.
Talk to your therapist.
Kevin will get tired of me. No, I'm this is my world. The rehab is my world. So I'm as soon as he tells me that I can unlock this brace and that I'm full weight bearing, we're hitting the track. I already ordered a new eStim neuromuscular electrostimulator yesterday that will be here tomorrow. I'm going to be doing NMES on my leg, and when he tells me that I'm full weight bearing and I can go through full range of motion, it's done. And I'm gonna, I could end the show, Keith, with the surgery video, but I think Kevin's already over there.
Chris said, "Can I see the inside of your knee again?" So
he wants. Okay, so we're gonna close out the show.
More. He didn't like it at first, but now he's like, you know what? It was kind of
we're gonna close out the show with knee surgery videos.
Good night, folks. If you didn't like the show, we'll give you your money back.
Hamish.
Let's see. I haven't shown this one here. Let's show this one. Here we go.
We were all thinking it, but Hamish said it.
Hamish,
what is that?
That's a grinder. He's in there grinding off the.
Oh my gosh.
That looks very bad.
He's got little teeth. You see that?
Oh my gosh. That is. I feel like I'm being attacked.
This is harm reduction, though, right? I mean,
yeah,
you were in
look how it's every time he passes through, it's chewing up little pieces and it's smoothing it out. Look at that.
There you
go. Stop looking at me in that tone of voice.
It's kind of, I don't know. It's pretty cool, to be honest with you. I think it's pretty cool.
It's pretty neat.
It's not every day that you tune into a vape show.
No, he's
look at it go.
Look.
There you go.
Look, he's separating.
He's prying you open, man.
He's pulling it apart.
Just a little poker guy. Just there you go. Not every day that you tune into a show to hear about tobacco harm reduction and advocacy, and you get to watch the inside of someone's knee being grinded down. Yeah. That's a treat. Yeah.
That I should get an Emmy for this.
You should be nominated for something.
Is there some sort of web video award?
Chris, but anyway, something wrong with you.
Love you guys. We'll see you in 7. Bye.
No, never give up, never surrender.
We're exporting a whole lot of really bad and dangerous rhetoric, bad research, and unfortunately it's being picked up and amplified in other countries.
Never forget the elephant in the room. It's actually such a big elephant that I don't think people can even breathe in that room because it's such a huge elephant. It's the number one preventable cause of death in Australia. So when you are taking a precautionary approach, when you're like, no, we just don't know enough, I just tell them, shut up, because that just I don't know is killing people right now.
We're worried that, in fact, a lot of members of the public still think that using an e-cigarette is as harmful as smoking a cigarette. I mean, I have said that it would be tragic if smokers didn't quit and carried on smoking because they hadn't tried an e-cigarette, because they were worried about the safety of an e-cigarette.
It's not about really quitting smoking. Their ideological viewpoint against vaping is so strong and so weird. Like, honestly, it's just weird. I don't know why it invokes this incredible sort of anger from these people. I mean, this colleague of mine said to me when I first moved to get the inquiry up, her comment to me was, why don't they just use a patch? And I said to her, do you smoke? And she's like, no. I said, have you ever smoked? And she said, no. And I said, well, shut up then. You don't know how hard it is to quit smoking.
engorged, penis.